Maybe. There we go. Hello. Welcome to Wednesday. It's 8:01. Today is Wednesday, September 15th. Yep, that's right. Welcome. We're going to let people get connected here. Sorry, we're about a minute late. A lot going on today. A lot going on today. I'm going to go pull up the Google form real quick. And as always, if you have questions off the top of your head, please go ahead and throw those in the chat now. Good morning, Ms. Petzold. Alrighty. Oh, thank you. Today, I can't remember what they called today, but basically each class has to dress up a certain way. So the freshmen are supposed to dress up like babies. I don't think I saw one kid doing that. The sophomores are supposed to dress up like children. The juniors, the class that I love and support, dressed up like adults today. And so in the spirit of adulting, I just tried to go full on dad. What you can't see is the socks with sandals. And I had to take my obnoxious keys off of my hip. They're over on the table. But I do have my tongs that I always have handy. So that's how we're rolling today. Alrighty, so here we go on the Google form. Oh, I know what's going on. I didn't put it on the website. Everybody's like, where? How do I get there? I can't get there. Because I didn't do my job. Please give me just 1 second. And I will solve this for, hopefully, more of our friends. Homepage, alerts, Facebook Live, edit. That's going to be the same. And then we're going to turn it off today on the 15th. Save. Done. Alrighty. Did that fix the website? Yes, it did. Only a few minutes late. Hopefully some people will join us there now that the link is on the website. Welcome. If you've got questions and you're new since we started, please go ahead and feel free to throw your questions in the chat. If you don't have a Facebook account and are unable to see the chat in real time, there's a link on the website. I think it still says YouTube Live form. Yeah, it says the YouTube Live questions form. I'll retitle that today. But you can go in there and drop your questions now, and I can see those as well, so we can get those answered. And to all of those of you watching this later, welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. So here we go on the Google form from last week. I'm not sure if I answered this or not. I don't think I did based on the timing. It says I can't find the school nurse's name or email on the website. So our school nurse is Carol Sockman, csockman at wcpss.net, and it's Sockman, Sockman. So yeah, you probably found that out already, but if not, there it is. Ooh, next we have a whole bunch of questions. So thank you for all of this. Is homecoming happening? Yes, we have a football game on Friday against Sanderson. It's for anybody who wants to come. It's a football game. It starts at 7, I think. Are there openings for student council, and how do you join if you want to? You're going to want to email the advisor for the grade level that your student is in. So for the seniors, that's Miss Delp. For the juniors, that is Miss Janeski. For the sophomores, that is Miss George, Jessica George. And for the freshmen, I am forgetting. If there's anybody here who has a freshman, please tell me who the advisor is. We'll call in just a minute to verify. Will there be tryouts for STEP team? What do you do if you would like to join? That is an outstanding question. Last I knew to be true, Mr. Abdulaziz was sponsoring STEP Team. I might send him an email. It's Abdul-Aziz. I will put that in the chat. I would email him and see if he can give you any information. Alrighty. What is the date of Eclecticos? It's in October. I want to say it's the 7th, but dates are just all floating in my brain. Eclectico, 7 p.m. on October 7th. 10-7 at 7. When is the parent orientation night for theater? I think that was Monday. Sorry. But definitely email Mr. Cutchin, Dkotzian, and check that out. Or if your student is in tech theater, you can email Mr. Edwards, EWEdwards at WCPSS.net. Sorry, I think that was Wednesday, though. Hopefully you made it. Is it possible in between classes that the rooms are sprayed with disinfectant of some sort, or at least the tables are wiped down before the next group of students that come in? That was a thing last year. That is not currently in the safety guidance from the district. I would need to refer you to the actual facilities team for that. I'm not sure why that change happened. But we do have hand sanitizers in every single classroom. And I think my understanding of why this change happened is that surface issues, they believe at this point the surface issues are not nearly as much an issue as respiratory things are. And the good news is here at Millbrook, we still are fortunately holding pretty low in the land of cases that have been positive with a student on campus. Can a student be picked up from school and checked out and come back later in the day? Yep, absolutely. If your student checks in after 10:30 a.m., it is always preferred that you come to the window with them, or call Miss Cooper specifically, or send a note in explaining. Now, if they checked out during the day and come back, Miss Cooper is like great with faces, so she'll be like, I remember, you got it. And because she will have given you a note to leave, she'll understand why you're coming back. So yeah, in general, it's easiest if you are available to come to the window. You can also call Miss Cooper and she can verify stuff with you. Why is it that juniors and seniors cannot eat lunch in their cars? That's a great question, and I have told many juniors and seniors this in their cars the last few days. And it goes like this. When juniors and seniors fill out or receive their off-campus lunch pass, right? So students that don't have an off-campus lunch pass should not leave the building during lunch. It's because when they have an off-campus lunch pass, they assume certain liability for leaving campus. The parking lot is this kind of weird middling area, right? Like, we just said the thing about not leaving the building, but also we need them to leave campus. So leaving the building does not qualify as leaving campus. You have to leave the parking lot as well. And the bottom line is it works like this. Our job, we assume when students come onto campus that we can supervise and keep them safe. So that's why I said if students don't have an off-campus pass, they need to stay in the building. If students are in the building, we have a supervision plan to keep all of them safe. Sorry, tongs are in the way. In the building, we have a supervision plan to keep students safe. We've got cameras, we've got admin, we've got an SRO, we've got security, we have teachers everywhere. We have that pretty well locked down. Students eating in the parking lot are all over the place, and they're hard to see. I go out and check lunch passes several times a week, and when I'm done, I do a lap through the parking lot with a golf cart, and I talk to kids about, hey, you can't really eat in your car because I can't make sure that you're safe. We have had people walk off the street and walk through the parking lot. We have had students report to us at the end of the day that they've had a window bashed in and things taken out of their car. So we know that occasionally things happen in the parking lot. And while we generally have an administrator out there during lunch for lunch pass check, we're not out there all the time. And security is only one person, and they have to do the entire exterior of the building. So there are really, really large blind spots. And so if students have an off-campus lunch pass, we ask them to leave to eat lunch because they own that liability for safety because they leave and they have their vehicle. Students that don't have an off-campus lunch pass should stay inside. We cannot meaningfully supervise the parking lot because it's so big and we are already really struggling to get things covered. We are regularly having to cover 2 or 3 teacher absences with classroom teachers every day. I think by October 1st we'll have a full staff. I know our Chinese teacher starts tomorrow finally. I think we're waiting on a CTE position that starts pretty soon as well. But the bottom line is we can't guarantee safety if students just stay in the parking lot. And it's hard to say that out loud, right? Because it's a pretty safe place, but heaven forbid the one time somebody came up and knocked on a window or I have taken plenty of vapes and in some cases actual drugs off of kids in their car. And we're in a place where your children are making a lot of new friends, or your children's friends have made some new friends. And so there's just a lot of liability there. And that's why we ask juniors and seniors not to eat in their car. Sorry, I know that was a lot. Um, what time do students have lunch, and at lunch are they permitted to eat outside? So students have one of three lunches. Their lunch starts at 10:33, 11:20, or 12:08. It's been many years since I've had to just know those times. I think that's right. And then in many cases, yes, some teachers are taking their students outside, but in order to keep COVID numbers down, we are asking that students eat lunch with their class. So sometimes teachers do need to keep their students inside. Many teachers have outside door. Many teachers with outside doors are allowing their students to sit right outside the room. Some teachers are taking their kids outside to eat. It just depends on the teacher. How does a student start a new club or group? They email Miss Wilson in Wilson 5, and they get the clubs and activities application. And the hardest part of that process is finding a faculty advisor. But those are all really, really great questions. Next question is, will any students get to do the morning growl? Yes, I hope so. I don't totally know what the delay is, other than it's really hard to do masks and microphones in that setting. Is there going to be an after-school event where the parents can meet teachers just to get to know them and also for conferences? Yes, there will be. It will likely be virtual, although I'm not sure. But we do parent conferences. In fact, I probably have a date for it. Conferences. Parent-teacher conferences are on Thursday, October 14th. They're from 3:30 to 5:30, so keep your ears open for more information from the Student Services Department. My student has a different overall grade showing in Canvas Parent than in Power School for the same class. Why would that be? Is one of them more current than the other? Yes. So always default to the Power School grade. The Power School grade is the official grade getting reported to the state of North Carolina at the end of the day. Reasons for that might be if a teacher gives a test that's not in Canvas, the grade won't go into Canvas. That grade goes into Power School. So Canvas only grades assignments that are in Canvas, but any assignment that's not given via Canvas is going to still go into Power School differently. But when in doubt, default to Power School. That's an outstanding question, especially as we work on Canvas Parent Observer accounts. Does National Honor Society have a sign up for peer tutoring, specifically Math 3? I'm not totally sure. I don't know that we've started peer tutoring yet, but you can email Dr. Carr, MTCARR, at WCPSS.net to get an update on that. Is there anywhere students can hang out on campus if a parent get there to pick up until 3 p.m.? Yes, we have plenty of students that hang out right in front of school. We are not doing unsupervised study hall in the media center yet. I can certainly talk to my team and see, but it's hard to draw the line because we do have all students who are not with a coach or a teacher specifically need to leave the building, and that leaves the media center in a weird gray area. So for now, yes, they're welcome to hang out up front. Or if there's a teacher that they can sit with, they can certainly ask a teacher, hey, can I just hang out here till my ride gets here? So thank you guys so much. These are all really great questions. And now I feel like I've been talking for a hot minute. I haven't looked at the chat in a minute. So, okay, conferences will be virtual. Let me go back to the top. I'm going to apologize if some of these have been answered. What tends to happen is freshman class advisors, also Dr. Carr. Sorry, Dr. Carr. I didn't realize that you were doing everything. The new orchestra teacher is Mr. Chris Hathcock. His email is cdhathcock@wcpss.net. He also teaches music production for us. He is a heck of a musician. We're very excited to have him. Just looking at COVID numbers, I have not looked, so I'm glad that I wasn't lying to you. Can you share the link for the COVID numbers? Thank you for doing that. Again, you guys make my job very easy. Should teachers be returning quizzes or tests to students after grading so they can see errors? Yes, in general, students should get those back to review. I know that some teachers have concerns about test security, and so they keep those tests, but in my experience, those teachers still will hand them out with the student's answer sheet so they can go over and see their errors, because we know our error analysis is a really critical part of the learning process. If you have any concerns with that, definitely email the individual teacher. Most teachers are willing to send a copy home or whatever. Just they're really nervous about keeping it safe, because a lot of our PLTs have done a lot of work to make really good tests that are standards aligned, that are reliable. I mean, we legitimately have PLTs that they evaluate each individual item on their analysis and say, oh man, this is not a very reliable question. We need to reword this. So like they're trying to write really powerful tests. And there is, a want to protect that, because it's a lot of work. That's the same reason that like we can't see the EOC questions. We're not allowed to discuss those, and kids aren't supposed to share those, because the state spends a lot of money building reliable questions for that. Is there or will there be anywhere for students to work on group projects after school? Yes, there probably will be. Is there right now? No. If it's a group project, they could try and coordinate with their teacher to see if their teacher would let them stay in their room after school. All teachers should have their tutoring hours on their Canvas page. We asked all teachers to do that at the beginning of the year. So that could be an option to look at as well. Woo! I can't believe it's only 8:17. I feel like I've been talking for like 50 minutes. I'm very sorry that it's just been me rambling. Shout out to Jennifer Nank for dropping in the COVID numbers, and Ms. Petzold for verifying virtual conferences for us. So if you have any more questions, feel free and drop those in the chat. I'm going to go back to the Google form one more time in case we got some new questions, because that does happen from time to time. I want to, my student is not in school today and will miss the club and activities fairs and information that we sent out after the fair. Woo. Let's find out. Hello. For students that miss the activities fair today, is there going to be any kind of flyer or slideshow or anything they can view? Oh, cool. We'll post it to the website. You got it. Right on. Yeah, perfect. That's awesome. I love having interns. Love it. So good. I'm actually going to commit her to that on the Facebook Live right now. Okay. Bye. Whoa, tons of questions. This is awesome. Okay, so yes, if you missed the clubs and activities fair, we're going to have a digital virtual recap of the whole thing. We'll post that on the website. It'll be over there in the blue under the live questions form, where we put the club and activities fair last year. Will students have time to eat and attend the activities fair? So yeah, lunches are 35 minutes long. We're going to ask students that are interested in the activities fair to go to the activities fair first. It's kind of like a giant walkthrough situation. So they should have enough time to spend a solid 15 to 20 minutes walking through and checking out a couple clubs, get lunch, go back to the room, and still have the 15-minute window to eat their lunch. I know it's imperfect. We're trying to have our cake and eat it too, and it's hard. Will the activity here? Yes, post on the website. Any plans to add activities tab on the main website? The website is it's a thing in my life. It's on the job description that Dana King gives me. And some of you may remember 2 years ago when I did a drastic overhaul of the whole thing. It has sort of creeped back up into having an awful lot of information in the drop-downs. There was a time when we only had 3 or 4 things in the drop-down, because what I think would be more appropriate is if you actually click on the word students and then you go to the students' homepage, or if you actually click on the word parents and you actually go to the parents' homepage. It's really hard trying to dig out from under all the old stuff on the website and make this something that's super lean and super transparent. So my issue with having an activities tab is I would need all the advisors to keep their information updated. Otherwise, I'm just going to get yelled at for having old information on there. 80% of my life with the website is, why is this still on there? Can we take it off? Because there's a million ways to Google, and people will go find the student handbook from 9 years ago and say, well, prom worked like this. And I'm like, no, that's not the new handbook. The new handbook looks like this. So the website is a little frustrating for me. This is just me on a soapbox now, and I apologize. But I would certainly entertain the conversation about what value that would have. But I would definitely be willing to add a section in the students dropdown, like to an activities main page. That's probably a good idea, just so that there's always a holding pen for all the other things we do here that help create what Millbrook is. That's a good idea. Have your kid join Science Olympiad. Science Olympiad is super rad. Any central location for senior information? I think my previous question got filtered. I'm sorry about that. Oh, no, I see it. It did not get filtered. I just missed it. Is there a central location for all senior information? So, not really. It's empty. It's funny. We just had this whole conversation about the website. If you click on the word students, or you go to the student homepage, oh my lord, January 2021 exam information. Like I was saying, some things are old and I got to get them off of there. If you click on students, or you click on the word student homepage and you go to the student homepage at the bottom, there are class-specific accordions, and I try and get... What has happened is this. 8 years ago, before everybody was using Google and all this other stuff, there were only like 2 or 3 ways for the school to communicate with parents. So back then, the senior advisor had to come to somebody and say, hey, can you send this? The counselors had to come to somebody and say, hey, can you send this? People had to come and send it. And now they're like, oh, well, I can just email everybody. Or I can just do this. Or we have an Instagram, or we have a Twitter, or we have this. And so it's harder to centralize that information. The central location for all senior information is Catherine Courtwright, ccourtwright@wcpss.net. But I would definitely check the weekly message every week. We always have seniors in a highlighted thing, and in the spring we'll start having like a box, senior updates, specifically for seniors. And then any other pertinent announcements usually show up in a green banner on the website. I can talk to Ms. Sanchez and Ms. Courtwright about a long-term dashboard for seniors. That's probably a pretty good idea. In fact, it makes me really want to change the student drop down to class of, and just have like specific information for classes. I don't know when I'm going to do that. That's a lot, but I like that idea a lot. Is the website somewhere parents could volunteer to help? Yes-ish. I cannot give parents access to the website. That's a whole thing. But I would certainly love to have a conversation about somebody who has a classic background in information architecture. I know enough to know that that's a thing. Our webmaster is Mr. Davis, and he and I often talk about, like, parents need to find any answer in 3 clicks or less. And I know that that's not the case right now. We were getting closer, but I got a lot of pushback when I got rid of outside links to certain things from the website. So I'm just really I keep trying to pare it down. So Ms. Hallis, I would love to touch base at some point, even just for some best practices, like how to even start conceptualizing how to organize it would probably go a long way for us. So I very much appreciate that offer. And if you'll email me, just so I have your preferred email, I'd love to have a conversation about that. Oh yeah, I didn't even call out our interns. So we are fortunate to have 2 admin interns, and one of them currently is working with Miss Wilson on the activities fair. So we will have her build the digital resource and make sure it gets on the website. Where can we get more information on? Okay, so one thing that you should definitely do is join the senior parent email group, which I'm gonna senior parent email group. What is happening? I'm going to put a link in the chat. And this is the senior parent email group. This email group is managed by student services, by the counselors who know timelines for seniors, so they send out really pertinent information. They sometimes won't always include things on like caps and gowns and like the senior experience, but it is very much about application timelines and financial aid and things like that for college. There's also a lot of grade level information on the student services portion of the website, which, shout out, the student services department currently has their own website, and we're getting ready to port it over to exist on our website. So it's going to be undergoing some change here in the next little bit. But there is a lot of grade level information on the website. The student services website is a wealth of information. There will be a board for the activities fair. Yes. So that's for Science Olympiad. Just check it out at the fair. There'll be a sign. All right. It's 8:27. I'm going to do a last call for questions. That gives me time to go sort out why our Wi-Fi is so hit and miss in some places today. Yeah. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I hope you have a wonderful Wednesday. Shout out to all those seniors dressed as senior citizens. I saw a kid with a walker earlier. It was pretty amazing, to be honest. As always, if you need anything, please email your counselor or administrator. You're welcome to email me. I may pawn you off on somebody. That's not because I don't like you. It's just because it'll fall through the cracks if I get too many things on the to-do list. So I want to make sure that your questions get answered, even if I can't answer it. All right. Thank you so much. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. And we will see everybody next week.